Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. I almost said Tuesday, but it's Wednesday. We are waiting for Jocelyn to join us. We're going to have coffee this morning with Jocelyn, Braveheart alumni. So excited. All right, Jocelyn, I see that you're on. All you have to do is request to join. Let's see if I can do it. There we go. Let's do this. Yes, I can see you. Hey, girl.
Hi,
Hi, how are you doing?
good. How are you?
Good. So first off, I love beverages. I have so many beverages sitting right here. It's just like it's the beginning of the morning. It's 9 a.m., right? And I have hydration, which is a thing through Arbonne. I've got coffee and I've got water. What are you drinking?
I just had water. I was gonna get coffee and then I didn't have time. I was like, it's 9 o'clock already.
You're like, it's
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I love it. So, okay, I'm so excited to chat with you today. It has been not too long. I feel like how long has it been since the program that you were in ended? Almost 10 weeks?
I think so. Yeah, about 10 weeks ago.
10 or 11, yeah, I think it's like 10 or 11 weeks maybe. So almost 3 months. It's been almost 3 months since we worked together, but we've also stayed in contact because we've been doing some things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Love
Okay.
it. Okay, so I was really excited to talk to you because not only were you in the podcast episode, not this Monday, but the Monday before, talking about healing while still being in a relationship, but I also just I love you as a person and your energy and everything you do. You're just such like a go-getter, and especially for being your age, I was just really impressed because me at your age looked very different, and I think it's so cool all that you've done in such a short time frame on this earth. So let's chat all about it. So why don't I remember meeting you, but why don't you start from the beginning? Start from like when you started listening to the podcast, like what drew you to the podcast. Tell us about your journey a little bit. And
Sure.
actually, wait, can you do
Yeah.
one more thing before that? Before we dive into that, can you tell people about yourself?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, if people haven't listened to that podcast, Me Then Another Braveheart, I kind of went into depths of who I am and my breakup story. But yeah, I am 23 years old. I currently work as a nurse, and I graduated in May of 2020, so kind of in the midst of COVID. And so it was like a crazy time to like start the nursing profession during that time, but absolutely love what I do, and it's been really fun. Challenges, but there's pros and cons. So,
And
um,
where are you located in the world?
in Nebraska, yep, I currently
Hmm.
live in Nebraska.
Yeah.
And I've been raised here. I was born in California, but I've lived here all my life, and yeah,
Ooh, I didn't know that. That's
yeah.
cool. Hmm.
Um, And so my breakup story happened kind of, or yeah, like 3 months before I graduated nursing school. So I was just like so stressed with school. And then this happened. Then I broke up with him, and I just did really poorly, like dealing with the breakup, that I was like, I want to get back together. Things are going to
Mm.
be fine. And he said no. And so I was just really, really heartbroken. And I was like, how did this happen? What did I do? I can't believe this happened. Just all the questions rummaging through my mind. And so I just kind of went on with my life. I still try to contact him through like social media and texting and calling and, all that stuff that we girls do usually with breakups. Um, and I just got blocked from everything. Like now
Mm.
I haven't seen him since the breakup. I haven't even physically seen him. So it's just kind of been like the loss of a person, not seeing them like ever again. Just
Hmm.
that's what kind of just why I couldn't let it go. Was
Mm.
it was like, when am I gonna see this person? And I just always held to that hope. I was like, I'm gonna see him someday, or we're gonna, run into each other, and it just didn't really happen. And I think it didn't happen for a reason.
Mm.
And so a friend of mine also went through a breakup, and she was asking me for advice. And then she gave me the best advice ever, which was the podcast. And so that's how I started listening to the podcast. And we joke about it because when we go to the gym, or when we went to the gym and we listened to the podcast, we'd be talking about everything that we just listened to from Dorothy.
I love that. You literally, my first call with you was probably one of my favorite calls of my career. I
Oh,
I remember I was at the beach all that day, and then in the after, I think I had like one or two calls. So like the beach is pretty close to my house. So I went to the beach. And then your call was first, and I came home from the beach to take it was like a one-on-one check-in call, I think. It was like 10 or 15 minutes long. And it was the first time meeting you. And so like I sit down at my computer, I have all my notes up, all the things, and you come onto the screen, and it was just so, it was like one of my dreams come true, where you were like, yeah, we listen to the podcast, we do all the things that you say, and it's like, I feel like best friends with you,
yeah,
like
yeah,
this is
yeah,
the first time meeting you, but yeah, I feel like you're best friend. And that to me was a dream come true for me, which I just think is so cool. And it was one of my favorite calls. I loved it.
yeah. No, I
So
haven't even mentioned this to you, but like one of the other reasons I wanted to get into the program was to meet you. And
good.
so same thing, when I saw you on my screen, I'm like, oh my God, she's actually right here. Like this is happening. I was
Fun.
like, the girl that's been like, I've been listening to about all my breakup stuff, I'm actually going to talk to her. So I was super excited too.
Oh, so
Yeah.
good. And I was so proud of you because I think, and we talk about this on the episode. So for people who haven't heard this episode, it's called Healing While in a Relationship, and released 2 weeks ago, not this past Monday, but the Monday before. And I think that's something that's like takes a lot of guts doing, and it can be kind of scary and intimidating to sign up for a program called Get Over Your Ex while you're in a new relationship. Can you talk about that a
Yeah.
little bit?
Yeah. So, yeah, and that's after listening to the podcast a lot, I was like, I was starting to heal. And then that's when I was like putting myself out there, and that's when I found my new love. And so, we've been together almost, I think it's going to be in a year next month. So we're going to hit a year next month, and it's so exciting.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. And so, um, yeah, and so when we were in a relationship, we were like in that honeymoon stage, and then I kind of just like not hit like a wall or something, but everything that I was kind of suppressing just kind of built up, or kind of was brought up to the surface, as the analogy that you, um,
Yeah.
and so I was like, oh my God, I'm not over my ex. I was starting to compare him with my new partner, and I was the emotions just came back up. And so that's when I was like, I really need to do this program, because I mean the podcast is amazing, and I even have my journal of like when I would write notes from the podcast, but the program is just like the podcast on steroids. And so that's what kind of got me into signing up. Yeah.
Ugh, so fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about life since the program. So you healed your heart, you're in this amazing relationship, you're killing it, loving it. Tell us what you've been doing since the program. It's only been 3 months, but you've done a lot. So tell us all the things.
Yeah, so I actually got to meet um, my boyfriend's family back in Ohio, and I'd never been to Ohio, so that was kind of fun. Like just seeing a new like city and state, and we went to Cleveland, and that was just so much fun, like being able to do that and still being, precautious of COVID and all of that. So that was really fun. Um, and then during the program, a little bit before, I had bought a house, so a homeowner, and it's been like really exciting, just like decorating and doing it on my own. And then during
That
the
was so fun to coach
yeah,
on, by the way.
it
Like, I
was.
loved coaching on that.
Yes, because I had my dad's also in the like real estate, or like flipping housing business, and I remember it was one of our last calls, where we were talking about, it was coaching on like money, and he wanted me, start kind of like doing getting into his business a little bit. still having my, full-time position, but it was more of like an investment in it. And I was like, Dorothy, I have this situation. I don't know what to do and this and that. And so it was a really good call because it got me like, made me think about what do I want? And that's always been part of this program is like, this is for you and what you want to do in this world. When before I would always be like a people pleaser and just wanting to like please everybody and be like, yeah, Dad, yeah, I'll invest in that, my money that I, have worked hard for. But that's still in the process. I'm hoping to like start investing in it maybe sometime next year. Probably not right now, but it was just really good just like talking to you about that and being like, what do I want to do?
Yeah, and learning and it doesn't even mean you do something different, right? It's just
Right.
like learning why I'm doing it and it making it my decision, not somebody else's, or like blindly following someone else. It doesn't mean that you don't, follow the advice that you get in the world, but it means like making sure that you agree with it and that you know your reasons and then like those reasons. You were good
Right.
at that. That was great.
Yeah. Yes. Other stuff during because we started the program in May. Is that right? No, it was in like May.
Was it, I'm like, what month is it now? It's September. So the last one started July, August, September. So the one I'm in right now started July, which means the one that you were in ended July. So yeah, May, June, July.
Okay, yeah. Because then in May, I went back to grad school. So
Mm,
yes, that was big, and that was a. I just went part-time, only took like 2 classes because I kind of felt like the program itself was kind of like, me learning a
it
lot of
is.
self and like,
That's funny you say that.
yeah.
Jocelyn, I am so glad you said it like that because that makes me think about how it is like a course. Like I really am hesitant to use the word course because I feel like that doesn't just like it doesn't give it justice. Um, but it's like taking a college level course.
No, it kind of is because
Yeah.
the program that you used each week, you would send homework and videos. Just
Yeah.
like you would like in an online program. And so it's like, we watch like lectures. So we would, watch what you were teaching us.
That's so funny.
Yeah, on the side. And then and we had discussion posts with the other Bravehearts. So it literally felt, and I think Jumana said that too, the other
Yeah.
Braveheart that was in the program with me. We were like, yeah, it kind of feels like sort of a course that we're taking.
Yeah, and then you have your breakout groups, and then you have
Exactly.
it's almost like sometimes you have a lab because we have a workshop going on. It's so yeah, that's I
Yes.
love it. So good.
Yeah. And that's why I just loved your program too, because it was just like so organized. And I was like, wow, how does she do this? So, like you're, helping all of us. And then we have the guest speakers. Oh, and then the whole Braveheart Bible is, a huge book. Yeah, it's legit just kind of like a course.
That is, and yeah, that's true. It's like your Braveheart Bible, your breakup
It's-
Bible is like the textbook that goes along with it.
yeah.
This is so good, girl. I love that analogy.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, so I was in grad school and then also doing the program, and I think that kind of sums up well at least what's been happening within the last few
Yeah,
years. So yeah.
yeah. Girl, I'm so excited for you. So what's to come? Tell us what's happening now. What's coming up? What are your plans for your
Yeah.
future? What are you going to end because it's 2022 or 2021. How are you going to end 2021 and venture into 2022? What are your
Yeah.
plans?
So I've been a big thing because I just worked the Labor Day weekend.
Hmm.
And I was kind of looking at, how much I've been working, stuff like that. I'll be a nurse for like a year and a half, almost 2 years, which is crazy because it went by so fast.
Hmm.
So that's a huge
And you're
accomplishment.
so good at your job.
Thanks. And just other stuff like with grad school, just I'm doing another semester right now, of course. And um, other big stuff is just, just kind of I mean, I've been thinking about the future a lot, but it's mostly just been like with work and school, but also just being present with myself. A huge resource you gave me was like the power of now. I have it like in my living room, but just being happy with where I am now, because
Yeah.
I'm just so happy right now and just so grateful for everything, that's come together, because I was just so down before.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, nothing's gonna get better, it's not gonna get better, and then it did.
And
So
yes, and just learning to like it's learning how to have the happiness,
mhm.
right? It's learning
Yeah,
how to like be with the present state that you're in. That's so amazing. Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So I've just been holding on to that and a lot of meditation.
Uh,
Part of like the Headspace app.
hmm.
Um, I've been listening to meditations and like the ones that you gave us too. I remember that in the it's another thing through the course where it's like you gave us weekly meditations and they all had
Yes.
like purpose. And so I kind of continued that after the program. And
Good. I
yeah.
love meditation. Speaking of meditation apps, I'm like addicted to Insight Timer. Sarah Blondin's like my favorite. Those are a lot of the weekly ones that I provide you guys.
Yeah. Her voice is just so soft and soothing. I
So
was just,
good.
yeah,
She's like a magical angel from above. I don't know where where she came from. It's just, she's so good.
yeah, yeah. I remember it was really good.
I love it. Amazing. Is there anything else that you want to share? I've missed you, and I just
Yeah.
appreciate your time coming on here and chatting with me. I love being able to catch up. We're gonna have to do it again later so that I can hear about how you're doing.
Yeah, yeah, no. That's another thing is just like being more present with my family too. My sister's gonna be graduating college here in December, so
Mhm.
that'll be fun seeing her, kind of grow. She's my younger sister, so that's just been kind of neat. And she just hit 4 years with her boyfriend, so that was huge. I was like, wow,
Wow, that's a long time.
that is a long time. I was like,
Mhm.
wow, what's next for her? Um, yeah, it's been really great, like post program, because I was really like not scared, but like I'm like, oh my God, I'm on my own now. Like I graduated and now I'm on my own and I use all these tools every
Yes,
day.
and look at how amazing you're doing. I think that's the huge part that two things I want to talk about that. The first thing is everyone already has the skills that I teach in the program. You are so perfect as you are, and you've already been doing the work that I teach, which is phenomenal. The only thing is you've been doing it unintentionally. And so doing and like going through the program, learning how to harness that skill and learning how to do it intentionally is just different. It's learning how to be like, oh, I know how to do these things. I just didn't realize that I was doing them. Now I know and can see that I've done them in the past, and here's how I can do them in the present and in my future. So that's huge. The second thing is it's really important to me that all of the Bravehearts who do work with me in some capacity learn how to do these things on their own. And so when you go through the program, that's a huge piece of it is, yes, I'm going to coach you, but even more importantly is you're going to learn how to coach yourself. You're going to learn how to um, continue these things after the program so that you can apply it to all areas of your life. So I'm glad that you brought that up because that is like so important to me. And absolutely there are Bravehearts who continue to work with me afterwards because they want to and some who don't, and all are going to be successful and amazing and perfect. And yes, I love that you said that.
Yeah,
So good.
yeah. And it's been great just seeing, with the other coffee talks that you had. It was just like great seeing, people who started like at the beginning or wherever they're at and just seeing where they are now.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's really
Mhm.
it's really neat seeing people like afterwards, because it's like we're all in this like we're all in the program together, and we're all just like so emotional and just like it's not going to get better, and then it does. And I just keep using the tools, like I use them like every day. And the other thing is just like spreading the word, like telling other people too, like I've been
Mhm.
telling my sister, and like um just like the how our like emotions are so like we're just so emotional all the time. But I like write it down and just kind of go through the process of like what's my brain thinking and how is it like making me feel, and then like, what am I doing? How am I acting out? And
Ugh.
just be more intentional.
Yes, and it's so beautiful too because another thing that I talk about all the time, right, is helping people heal hearts so that they can go on and help heal the world in their own unique ways. And I love doing these Braveheart spotlights and coffee talks because it's such a beautiful way to represent how people take this work and apply it to so many different areas to help other humans, right? You're a
Yeah.
nurse,
Hmm.
which means you're using those tools in your job, and eventually you might have a conversation with, I don't know what you call them, but like a patient or a client or whatever, that you do explain this information to in some heated moment, right? Or just because you're learning how to be amazing at handling your emotions then helps you in a situation where you're able to help heal someone else in a different way. Like your unique way is different than the other people, right? Jake,
Yeah.
who we've had on, he writes. So that's the way he heals people is through writing. And he's now going to become a coach. And then, um, and who was the person before that? Chelsea, right? She's a speech therapist. So that's the way that she is going on to help heal the world in her unique way. And then coming up, we have like a chef, and we have so many amazing people who are doing all kinds of beautiful things in the world. And I just love it. Like that's the part that just warms my heart and makes me so happy and so proud of all of these humans, including you, Jocelyn, that I just can make me cry.
Yeah, it really is. And while you were saying that, it was like how we have our own ways of, you know, creating our, path and stuff like that. It was like, and it makes me think that's how other people, how they live their life. When before it would just be like, oh my God, they're thinking badly about me because they're acting this way. When like if someone was acting negatively around me, I'd be like, it's just their thinking. Just
Yeah.
they're thinking it's, that's how their thoughts are coming about. And instead of being like, it's all about me, they hate me. And that was a huge thing that I took away with me because I stopped being so like I said, people pleasing, and
Mm.
just being more focused on my thoughts, my feelings, my actions, what I want to create.
And Jocelyn, that is going to compound for you in life. Like that result of learning how to not people please at the age that you're at is going to compound results for you later in your life, which I think is so important to recognize because at 23, for myself and my own personal experience, like I didn't have these tools yet. Like they were out in the world, I just didn't know of them. So at 23, I'm trying to think, like I was still people pleasing. Like I was still doing things that I thought my dad wanted me to do. I was doing things that I thought my partner at the time wanted me to do. And like that changed the way that I lived my life and did my things. Again, would go through it exactly the way it needed to because that was my journey. That's fine. But just recognize how learning how to not people please at 23 is going to impact the decisions you make that are going to affect you at 50, which
Yeah.
I think is so cool to like see.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. And I'm just so grateful for you and your podcast because I would have just still been, going in this world not knowing all of these things.
Isn't it crazy?
It
It's
is.
like
Yeah.
it's like a gold mine.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
people start spreading the word about that it's all really just within our thinking, and not just that, because people do know, like we know that it's really just in our thinking, but the way like you teach it, and just the other tools of like forgiveness, the grief bubble, being in the now. um yeah, I was just, there's so many others. I had like a whole list of them down on my phone. When I'm like going through something, I just like, which tool can I use right now to like process this emotion?
That's amazing. We should
Yeah.
create an app for that. Like, oh, here's what
Yeah.
I'm going through. Here's the tool that I want to use.
Yeah. No, really. Because I'm like, I'm feeling this emotion. I'm going to use this tool.
I love that. I will, and I'm in a coaching program called Coaching Masters right now with my coach, Lindsay Dotzlaff. And what's been really fun about that is I'm always like trying to advance my coaching skill. Like I'm the best breakup coach. I'm gonna be advancing all the time. Like I want to be on top of that. And so this program has been so cool because one of the things that she had us do is write down our process to get people the results that I want to get them. And it was so intricate, and I didn't even like realize how intricate it is. Like it's super simple, and the way that I presented it is super simple. But when I went through and I wrote down each step and all the tools within each step, there's like 25 tools per step that I provide. And I was like, I didn't even realize that. So
Yeah.
cool. So that would be so cool to have an app that would be like, I'm feeling this way, or like, I'm experiencing this thing. What tool do I use?
Yes. No, exactly. Yeah. Because, and I'm just so happy you said that, because the other thing is like, and I was saying, we all know it's all in our thinking, but it's just the specific tools you give us are just something I would have never experienced if I had it, you taught me. But the other thing is just that it's something so that's so understandable. Like
Mm.
this actually makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain it at first, and when we were kind of like I was learning the process, but I was like, how is this gonna make me feel better? That's all I want. I just want to feel better. But
That's what
it's
everyone wants. I
yeah,
mean, yeah, 100%, right? The first 4 weeks, everyone's like, I just want to feel better. And I was like, and I'm going to force you to feel the feelings before you feel better. And it's going to
yeah,
be uncomfortable AF.
yeah.
And that just know you're in the exact right spot. And if you're
Mhm.
feeling really shitty for the first 4 weeks, you're perfect, because by week 5, it's going to be different. It's going to be
Yeah,
crazy. Um, but yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I love that.
yeah. I think one of the like biggest tools that I loved was like the urge jar, or
Yeah.
like processing your urges, because what makes me feel better is like going and eating ice cream, or like not trying to process my emotions. Not I don't want to do the breakup homework for this week, or like
Mm-hmm.
just anything else. And it's like it's gonna feel uncomfortable, but once I like went through it and felt it and did it, it was so much better.
Well, and
Uh,
that's the difference between, like, yes, we might all know, and I really don't even think everyone knows that thoughts create feelings, but once you do understand that conceptually, it's very different understanding that thoughts create feelings than tangibly living it and being someone who believes and knows in their bones that their thoughts create their feelings. And learning how to get to that place of knowing and being and living and breathing that is done through the tangible tools that you learned. Hmm.
yeah. Hmm. Definitely, definitely.
So good. Well, it's so great to see you. Is there anything else that you want to share with us? I just appreciate your time. I appreciate you being here and catching up with you, Boo.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Right? We'll do it again later. I want to do a Braveheart alumni retreat
Yeah,
actually, where we all just meet in person and like have a yummy time.
that'd be so fun. And just
Right?
hear everybody's stories. Like, what do they do?
Right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
good. I love it. Okay. All right, Boo. You have an amazing day. You don't work today? Are
I
you off today?
don't. I'm off
Okay.
today. Yes.
Perfect. Well, you have an amazing Wednesday, an amazing day off, and then I will see you a different time.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.